Hello, folks, and welcome back to my channel. This is the world of TV shows for you, and today I have another episode review for Medium, and this time we'll be looking at the 11th episode of the first season called I Married a Mind Reader. The episode originally aired on March 21st, 2005 on NBC. It was directed by Dwayne Clark and written by Glenn Gordon Caron and Renee Echeverria. In this episode, Allison is sick and she has some kind of a sore throat and a running nose, if I'm not mistaken. And she basically has some very peculiar dreams where she sees herself inside of a TV show. And this TV show is called, as the title of the episode suggests, I Married a Mind Reader. And basically, there was this star actor who was the main lead, and basically, she dreams about him. And there was a murder case, excuse me, there was a murder case involving him, and she believes that the person who's in prison, the one who's been arrested, might actually be innocent. But I won't tell you exactly what or how, because I want you to find out for yourselves, just in case you haven't watched the episode. I wouldn't want to spoil it for you, now would I? Right? So, this is basically how this episode goes. And as Allison is having more dreams, she's gonna come closer to solving this case, this mystery, right? She's gonna ask her good friend, now Detective Lee Scanlon, to help her out a little bit. And she's gonna be traveling to, I believe it was California, right? To basically to investigate a little bit further and to try to understand what happened and to the actors and try digging, right? So basically, yes, she's gonna be investigating and she's gonna try to figure out for herself what truly happened and possibly clear somebody's name and bring the guilty party to justice, right? So this is pretty much how it goes. And as the episode goes on, you can tell that Allison is really, she's really trying to, she's really involved in this case. She's really invested and she really wants to make a difference, right? I really liked the fact that this episode features an old show from the 60s, or yes, I believe it was from the 60s. It's an old show, but within the show itself, it is in black and white, but it also gets in color when Allison is there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And Allison being in this episode as a character also, I thought that was pretty interesting as well. To see this, to see a show within a show, a play within a play kind of thing. So it was a pretty interesting episode, also having Allison kind of out of her element because she's sick in this episode. So it's not exactly, she's not, one could say she's not at the top of her abilities. She's not the top of her game, right? But actually, she still manages to do pretty well, if I, right, for herself. And as the episode goes on at night, at some point she's going to make an interesting discovery near the end, the final twist. And I think that was a pretty good way to kind of bring things to a conclusion. I thought that this episode, as it goes on, the way it develops, the way it runs its course, it's a really good episode. It's really interesting to see. Also, these characters, maybe we could speak a little bit about them. So we have the actors, the main actors, and then we have Frances Fisher, who plays Abigail Marsh, who's the wife of this actor, and also she plays a character within the show. They're playing together, right? They're working together. Her husband is Henry Stoller, is played by Paul Blackthorne, right? It was pretty good. Paul Blackthorne in this episode was pretty awesome, and so was Frances Fisher. Then we have Neil Vipond, who plays Henry Stoller at old age. Yes, as Allison is going to be visiting him somehow. He's an old man, and obviously I won't tell you exactly in which context she meets him, but that's pretty interesting. Then we have Kendall King, who plays the Develo's assistant. Phil Abrams plays the director. Yes, Carrie Lee Michaels plays Aide. Christopher Michael plays Guard. Janet Rotblatt plays Old Woman. Lori Burke plays Lounge Dancer. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. And we have Alexander Hall, who plays Sean Connery. And Paula May, who plays Frugu Dancer, right? And yes, then we have the main actors and characters. I don't actually know if what I said that Scanlon was in this episode, but I'm not sure he was actually. I believe that no, I believe that forget about what I said earlier about Lee Scanlon helping out Allison. I believe that, or maybe he did make an appearance very briefly to help Allison about something, but it was very brief, perhaps like a cameo appearance, something like that. But Allison, yes, was mostly doing things herself, running things herself this episode. So I think that was pretty good. And also the banter between Allison and her husband Joe also was pretty funny, especially since I don't believe that Joe liked this show particularly. I'm married a mind reader, so he's kind of teasing a little bit, and it's pretty funny. And Allison being so into the show, right? I'm married a mind reader. She likes this show. You can tell from, and I think she played the role of a fan really, really well. So I really enjoyed this episode for what it was. It was interesting. It definitely made a good impact on the show to have these kinds of kind of stranger episodes, not as conventional as the others, more like um, other. I don't really know how to say, not like in a bad way, of course, but different, right? And you have a story narrator at the beginning, a narrator, like a storytelling thing, which is, and it happens to be Allison who tells about her when she's sick. I thought that was pretty good. So yes, the different format of the episode, the way that it differs from other episodes. I thought that was pretty good, and also it is interesting for what it is. It goes on, and you know as the episode goes on, and you find out more things. You understand that the secrets are about to be coming to light. Things will, things that have been resting for years are about to be uncovered. I mean, that was a pretty good episode. I really enjoyed it. And the action and everything in it was pretty good. The actors did a pretty awesome job. So I really enjoyed this episode. And it's a really good one for the show. So if I were to rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a solid 8.5 out of 10, right? Because I really enjoyed how the episode goes and how the action develops. And it's a pretty interesting one to see as well. If you are, well, actually, it's the 11th episode, so it's still very early on in the season. But yes, if you have started watching it and you reach this episode, I'm pretty sure that you'd probably enjoy it a lot because of everything that happens in it. It's interesting, it's engaging, and as you go on with it, you can't help but wonder what's gonna happen next, right? You have all these questions in your mind, and all these questions will eventually be answered through the course of this episode. So really enjoyed the progression, the beginning. There are a few funny scenes as well. I didn't mention that, but at once some in the at the beginning of the episode, uh, you can tell that Allison, it's between Allison and her daughters. They're kind of basically, is Bridget is telling her to repeat some words, and she does, and it's kind of funny. And Joe is pretty supportive through this ordeal, through this sickness that Allison uh, has to go through, right? He's pretty nice, I have to say. And also, yes, at some point at the beginning, it's kind of awkward because Allison is lying there on the floor and she's having a dream, and her family just happens to find her there on the ground, moving a little bit. So it has its few funny scenes as well, despite the fact that the tone of the episode itself is pretty serious, pretty scary, pretty, yes, it's a mystery that we want to see being solved. So yes, very good episode. I married a mind reader. Like I said, I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10, 8.5, because that would fit the bill in my opinion. It's very interesting. It has a lot of, like I said, humor in it, but it has a lot of scary scenes as well. So really enjoyed this episode, especially the black and white parts also were a nice little touch. What about you folks? What did you think about this episode of Married to Mind Reader? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would really like to hear about your thoughts and views on this episode. Please feel free to leave any comment at all. And I know that there are fans out there, but somehow I'm not getting any kind of response or anything like that. I wonder what is going on. I mean, this is Medium. For crying out loud, let's hear it. Let's hear some thoughts. Let's hear some some anything at all, some negative, positive feedback. I just would like to know what people believe out there about the show in general, what they would like to say. All right, folks, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next review, God willing, for the 12th episode. In the meantime, stay safe, goodbye, take care. This is the World of TV Show signing off.